Welcome everybody. It's Walter here, and it's great to have you here. Thanks so much, guys, for spending time here today. We've got David Franklin, who's been recommended, actually. So I know a lot of you know in the forum. Can you see my screen, by the way? What do you see? You should see, hopefully you see my screen. I don't know if it was the right screen. There's like 3 FX Glens in here. Okay. All right. Which usually means you logged in and logged out and came back in, or you shared your link. It's pretty funny. Okay. So David's down here under the in the forum. If you want to ask him questions and welcome him. He's gonna probably start to be more active as he gets acclimated. But I just want to show you guys. Go under trading systems, price action. No, sorry, indicator. Sorry, not that one. Indicator-based trading systems, and then go to indicator-based. And David's going to show us how he trades. He has a very unique style. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So right here under David's trades, that's where you'll find him. Candy just started his thread, and so this will be an interesting experiment. I want to see how you guys find this, and David's happy to answer questions, but just keep in mind he takes a lot of trades. And if the questions come in, we'll answer them when he's available to do that, because he'll be concentrating on his trades. So what we want to do is welcome David Franklin. Thanks so much, David, for spending time here with us today. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and
Awesome.
clear. Loud and clear.
Awesome.
So David, I'm gonna give you control. We're gonna see your chart now, or whatever you want us to see. And then and then when the questions come in, I'll just hold them back until you're ready to take them, okay?
Sure, just let me figure out which monitor I'm on here first as well. I have the same problem. I have many monitors, so all right. So you guys are able to see my 5-minute chart there?
Yeah, it's a black pound yen. Black pound yen. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, good morning. A little bit about myself. I'm 53. I'm a journeyman carpenter and a all-around entrepreneur. I'm involved with many different businesses throughout my whole life, from telecommunications to building and project management, and I got into trading because I was building houses for a couple of different kinds of traders. One was a commodities trader, and one actually ran a boiler room up in Ottawa, Ontario. He had a room of 50 people, and they just sat there and controlled anywhere from 250,000 to a couple $1 million every day, depending on how they behaved and how they worked. And I just found it very intriguing. So of course I got involved and got a tutelage from both these guys, and when I first got started, and it was a pretty interesting road, because there's a lot of sharks and a lot of very aggressive traders out there, and I had no idea what I was getting involved with. And I've been trading for about 7 years, and for the first 3 to 4 years, honestly, I spent more money giving to the market than I did taking from the market. I'm glad that's changed now. So, it took me a while to figure out just what kind of trader I wanted to be. I've tried trading some long-term trades. I've tried trading medium-term, end of day. I've held a few trades for a couple of weeks, and always found myself looking at the trades, coming back to the trades and going, oh my, and just so my style of trading is very much just indicator-based scalping, momentum, trend momentum, price action, and I use two primary setups in my trading, and and I've had some indicators written for me that help me along the way, just to give me alerts. But most of the time, I just want to make sure that I'm in the market in the right direction, and I don't like to give back to the market if I don't have to. We do give back to the market, and I'm not going to sit here and say every day is a winning day, because even for example, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I actually lost 30 pips yesterday, because I have trading rules. So it was a losing day for me yesterday, and but it wasn't a big losing day. I lost, I only lost about 30 pips, but to me that's enough. So my rules are very simple. I'll take if I get in, I get out. I take anywhere from 3 to 5 to 10 pips per trade, as the market allows. I try not to let the market go against me any more than 10 pips, and I'll only take 3 losing trades in the course of a day, and after 3 losing trades I am done. No matter if I've taken 50 trades and then I got 3. After the 3, I've just said, you know what, psychologically, I don't want to trade anymore, and I don't want to give back. So some days I got 10 good trades and I'm out. Other days I'll take inwards of 80, 90 trades and get out. So let me just quickly go over 2 different setups that I have. I can see 1 or 2 of them happening here on the pound yen. I'll
David,
flip between a few of the pairs. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, is there any way that you can change the background a little bit? I know it's black. Is it possible to change it to a lighter color, perhaps? It'll just
Sure.
be easier for us to see if you have chance.
Do it right now. No problem. I normally use gray, but I've let me. How's that?
Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks.
Is that much better?
That's heaps better. Thank you.
All right. That's normally what I use, but I've been using a black background for a little while because, anyway, so not a big deal. So I'm just going to zoom out here a little bit, and so basically, what I'm looking for, actually, is I have 2 different setups. Only on this chart, I only actually see 1 at the moment. So let me just flip to another pair real quickly here and see if I can find a. Here we go. This would be a better application here. So this is my 200 up here. It's all my moving averages that I use are EMAs. Basically, they're just showing me my trend, and all my trades need to be underneath. If I'm going short, all my trades need to be underneath the 200 EMA. I have a 50, and I have a 30 and a 10. Now the 50 I've just recently added. Again, it just shows for confirmations of when the market is consolidating. and then a continuation in that direction of trend that I'm looking for. So I'm looking, again, what I was saying here is I'm looking for two very basic setups. So here's a basic setup here where I've had I know the trend, I've had a pullback above my 10 moving average, and then I've had a close above, a close down below, and then a break of that candle. I will enter that trade and I will exit at the next swing low area. So that would be anywhere from 4 to 6 pips. And I'll look over to see what history is telling me whether or not I might get into some areas of consolidation. I do look at on my other monitor I have here. I have 3 other time frames of the same pair. So when I flip between the pairs down here on the bottom of this chart, it automatically shows me all of those time frames on that other pair. And I just so I have a bit of an advantage where I'm looking at everything from a daily right down to a 5-minute, just to see if there's any major support, major resistance levels that are going to either inhibit me or help me in my trading decision. So that's the signal trade that I get. Now the other trade that I normally take would be an inside bar, and I've got my inside bars marked with a white wick. As you can see here, this is an inside bar here and here. And what I'm looking for in that inside bar is I would like to see that if I'm going short, I would like to see that the close of the inside bar is in the lower portion of the, and that the bulls are in control if I'm going short. Or sorry, the bears are in control if I'm going short. No, bulls, I apologize. So I want to make sure that it's going down, and I want to make sure that that it closes in the bottom portion of the candle. So this, to me, if I'm looking at this candle, more of the body of the candle is tall. The wick before of the candle prior to it is bigger than the body. So therefore, I wouldn't be looking at taking this trade short. Plus, it didn't break the bottom of the candle, so therefore, it would be a no trade. This candle here, this inside bar here, again, it's a no trade because the close is in the top portion of that inside bar, not in the bottom portion of the inside bar. If this was upside down, this candle here, that would have been a opportune trade for me to take. And let's see if I can find one real quick. Let me see if I can find one here. I don't see one here either. Here, let me just bear with me here. Oh, I lost my mouse there for a second. And all right, here's one right here. This one here. Now the 200 is going to stop me from trading, but I'm just showing you the actual the candle that I would consider taking in direction of that trend. Would be this candle right here that I'm pointing out. There's some consolidation happening here. There's an inside bar, and the body is in the bottom 1/3 of the candle. Therefore, as soon as this candle is broke, I would enter that trade short. And, go to the next swing low, which you know, here is only 1 or 2 pips, so we could go down to, you know, we'd be looking at 5 or 6 pips. So those are the 2 main trades that I look at. I do have a couple other ones that I can get into at another time. Continuation trades, bounces off the 200. I consider those, but those are not my main staple type trades that I'm looking at. I don't know if anybody's asking any questions. I don't mind answering the odd question here or there as well as I'm flipping through my chart. So so here we had a signal right here with an inside bar. I'm not real fond of this inside bar. If I go and I look at, well, this is a euro dollar I'm looking at. I know it on the very, very top of the chart it shows pound, but we'll look inside the chart. This is just a piece of software that I have that allows me to detach my my charts from my MT4 and pull them onto another monitor. So this pair here, I like to trade from levels to levels, are important to me. So that's why I have the big numbers on here. I find that they're very important. So I'm going to actually pop this trade if it breaks here, and I'm going to take it down down to the next swing low. It's going to cooperate with us, I hope. So basically, I'm looking for 5 to 6 pips here. It could very well go to the it could very well go down to the next big number, which is a 75. So I just entered into that euro dollar short. So I'm thinking that there would be a little bit of resistance around this level of the 881 area. Looking even at a higher time frame, I am coming into some support. Yeah, there's some support down there, so I'll be very, I won't stay in the trade long. I'll get in, I'll get out. I've got my take profit and my stop loss set at the moment. So right now I'm looking for 5 to 6, and I'm willing to, well, I'm set it at 12, 11, 12 with the spread, but I probably will not let it go past the big number, because I like the support and resistance of the zeros 25, 50, 75. I've just found that they're quite solid numbers. So I don't know if we'll move on here for a couple other trades, because I had a buy signal on the U-Sheffy. Let's take a quick look at the dollar chef. Oh, my MetaTrader. Hang on here. What's going on? Oh, I just lost. You have to bear with me here. Walter, if you want to take back over for a second, I just lost my MT4 for 2 seconds.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Just pull it back to you there if you don't mind.
Yep.
I do apologize. Just bear with me, guys.
Yep.
That was kind of weird. I was on my server here. I was up 2.5 pips on it too.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh boy. Oh, of course, it's doing an update. Oh, MT4.
Oh, that's too funny.
Oh,
what a nightmare.
Okay, well, I apologize, guys. Just bear with me. I can answer questions while this is going on if anybody
Sure,
has any.
sure. Let's go over the questions. Okay. Can you explain your MT4 chart switcher tool?
Sure, I can. It's really not the focus of this.
Yeah.
Of this, but basically what I'll pull it up and I'll show you exactly
What it does. Okay, cool.
what it does. Sure.
Yeah. What was the first setup that you were explaining? You explained the inside bar setup, but can you reiterate the second setup? I know we don't have a chart, but when we do, it'll make it easier. What was the first setup? So just briefly, what was the first setup? There's a question about that.
Okay. Well, the first setup is all right, my chart's coming back up here. Just give me a second.
Sure.
The first one was a pullback above the 10 moving. So we're talking about going short. So we're looking at a pullback above the 10 moving average.
Right.
Close, and then a break and close of the 10 to the short. That would be my signal to get in the trade.
So it's going down. The market's actually going down. It's not flatlining. It's not directionless. No. So it's going down. It pulls back to the 10, closes below the 10.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to float this chart here. Give me a second. Let me just pull it over.
Sure.
All right, so let me go back to, if you want to give that back to me now.
Yep, you are now the presenter. Sorry, guys. I was just showing you a blue screen, guys, because we're waiting for David's MetaTrader update. Right. That's so funny.
Oh well, not really.
Not really. Yeah, not really at all, actually.
I am a firm believer in VPSs. So
yeah,
everything I trade here on my workstation is backed up in my VPS. So all right, so let me just make this. I just pulled this chart over here. Let me just make it a little bit bigger so everybody can. Oh, I was going to change. I got to change the color as well again. Alrighty. Let me. All right, so I'm going to go to that trade there for 2 seconds. That pound, or so is the euro dollar. I'm up 5 pips on it as we speak. So I'm probably going to take profit here. So now, come on. Now, the likelihood it could go to the next big number. Yeah. Somebody in my room just said he got 4.8 on the euro. Good. Hopefully he's in the room learning. There you go. So that trade's done out of my hair. I don't have to worry about it. I know I have 50. Well, I'm trading full lot, so I have $53 in my bank account. I don't need to even worry about it anymore. I can buy a half a steak. All right, so let me go over that trade, because that actually was a signal trade, but it had confirmation of an inside bar trade. So here's a pullback. You can see my screen fine? Walter, you can see my screen? Everybody?
Yeah, we can see your screen. Sorry, I had muted myself. Can you stretch it out a little bit so the candles are a little bit taller? Or is that going to mess it up?
No, you can do anything you want. How's that? That's a little bit too big. But I'm trading on a 50-inch monitor, so.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Let me just make this, there we go. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, it's great. It's
all
great.
Right. So,
yeah.
All right. So here's the trend. There's the 200. Everything is going. My moving averages are nicely pointing down to where I like them. I had some consolidation around the zeros. It broke the zeros, came back up. It tested. Oh, I have your slope indicator on here for some reason. That's okay. I'll leave it on there. I also have my 10 on there. I was testing that because I was going through your site there, and I was testing the slope indicator, and it works really well with my with my setup. So I might
cool.
borrow it. I might borrow it for a little while.
That's awesome.
And test it out.
Yeah.
But okay, so here we have a pullback. So we had here we had a pullback. Let me just draw a line here. Okay, here we had a pullback above the 10, right there. Close above the 10, moving average. All right, and then this candle here broke below the 10 and closed. All right, the body is bigger than the wick. We have wick a little bit on both sides, so it's kind of an indecision on a 5-minute trade, but I have a signal which draws this little line and gives me my arrow here at the top. Plus I get a, let me just pull this over real quick. Plus I get an alert that says I've got the plan, which is my indicator, sell signal on on the UJ or the GJ. And there was one back there for the euro dollar that I had, so I'm just move that out of the way for a minute. So I had a pullback, I had a close below, and if this candle or this one break, 1 or 2 candles later, I normally won't go past 3 candles. If 3 candles can't break my signal, it's a no trade. That means that there's just not enough momentum in the market for it to continue at that specific time. Because again, remember, I'm only looking to be in the trade for 5 minutes, max 10. If I'm in the trade more than half an hour, I really I get not anxious, but I get I have to sit there and monitor the trade, and I don't like to do that. I just and it normally goes against me if I'm in the trade longer than I really want to be. So did that answer that question?
Yeah, I think it did. There's another question here about how do you set your stop and your take profit in the few seconds that it makes the price might move quite quickly. So how do you deal with spikes or whatever? And I mean that sort of thing.
Okay, well on my VPS I have I have another I have an EA that is set up on my VPS that puts in an automatic has an automatic take profit and an automatic stop loss and an automatic trailing stop. So my automatic be all end all stop loss is 15. So it's an emergency stop loss. So if I get any spikes, and my take profit, actually I believe it's set for 40. Even though I shouldn't say never, but even though rarely do I ever let a trade go 40 pips. And I have a trailing stop of, I think I'm gonna have to take a look. It's set at 8, so I have 8 or 10 depending on the market, because I'll adjust it depending on the market sometimes. And I've got it set up so that it's a hidden, it's hidden from the brokers, and it's just sitting on my chart, and when it's good to go, away it goes. So but I took when I took the trade, I automatically pulled down my bid line down to where I wanted my take profit, and my stop I pulled it up to where I wanted right away. it takes, you know, literally about 2.5 seconds to deal with that while you're in the trade. So yeah,
Right. So can you explain the how the trailing exit works? So I can understand where you get into a trade and then your EA automatically, you know, puts a 40 pip target and a 15 pip stop, but how does the trailing exit come into play? Like how would that ever be triggered if you've got, you know, oh, I see what you're saying. So if you don't hit your 40 pip stop and you don't manually get out, then your trailing exit will get you out on an 8 pip or 10 pip retracement, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what happens is that if it goes 10 pips in my favor, then it's a break-even trade. If it goes 15 pips, then I'll get my 5. If it goes, and it's a continue. So that's how that that's how that all works. So I have a euro dollar inside bar that just popped up, and let's quickly go take a look at it. Not a UCHF. So I have an inside bar here on the euro dollar. It's not one that I'm interested in taking because it closed in the top. It closed in the top 20% of the inside bar. So to me, it's more of a riskier trade. You know, like again, I'd only be looking to go to that swing low right there. So I'm looking at 4 pips. The market is really aggressively going down. So to me, to take this trade, it'd be a 50% to 60% chance that it's going to hit my target. Now, I think the target on this one here would actually be, you know, the 75, and then it's going to retrace. But again, you know, back a year or so ago, I would have taken every inside bar, I would have taken every signal candle, and you can see here, signal candle worked here. Inside bar would have broke this inside bar. I probably, well, there's only 3 pips against me, would have been a good trade. I just found myself in so many trades, and you know, as I get a little bit older, I'm a little bit calmer. In the trades, I think my record was 87 trades in a 3-hour period. So I don't do that that much anymore. They used to call me they call me the Gatling gun, you know, the human Gatling gun. So and other people, you know, because I'm a high frequency trader, and that's pretty much what I am. Is I am a high frequency trader. So here's another inside bar, but now this inside bar closed in the bottom portion. So I am looking for a pullback here. I'm looking for a pullback down into this consolidation area down here, down around the. Let me move this over a little bit so I can see it better. So you know, there could be a pullback down into the 299 area. You know, I could draw a line there, and you know, in and around this zone here is where I'm expecting this pullback to come down to. Yeah.
And what would you look for? What would you look for when it got down there to confirm that it's a trade?
Well, I'm then looking for a continuation in direction of trend, which the trend here is up. So this is basically, I'm looking at all of these high wicks, you know, showing me a lot of consolidation. They're really actually not that high. They're only, you know, 8 to 10 pips, these wicks. So I'm looking for a pullback down below the 10. All right. An area of resistance here. So this is sorry, support. There's some support here, some resistance here. So I'm looking for this area for it to come down to and exhaust. I'll say, okay, you know, we've taken off profits off the table, and now we're going to continue in the direction. Everything happens from what I've noticed. Everything happens in waves, you know. So we have an up, we have a wave back, we have a pullback up, we have a wave back, we have a pullback up. So, you know, so That's what I'm looking for right now. So you know, I'll come back to this chart in a second because I want to flip through some other charts to see what, because I need to religiously try to go through my charts. I like to go through them and see really quickly what I'm looking for, because I know what I'm looking for, and in that opportunity, I can see it so fast. So you know, so here's a breakout trade here on the pound yen. Now the spread's a little high on the pound yen. Well, actually, it's not bad right now. It's 1.5 to 1 to 1.5, so it's not that bad. I don't like trading anything that has a higher than 2.5 pips. So I have an inside bar here. This is a beautiful trade. I would load this trade up. You know, I would do a basket. I could do a basket trade on this trade here. If it when it breaks, I would normally do a basket trade on this, and I would take you know, 3 or 4 trades on it. So we'll just wait here, see if it breaks. So come on. I'm looking for the bid and the ask. There we go. We're in a tiny bit late on it, but I'm going to set a take profit at the big number, stop loss up here at the 50. So let's see what we can get on this one here. Now theoretically, where am I looking for? I'm only looking to go down here, so I'm only looking for 6 pips. There is some resistance over here right here. So let me just draw this line right now, and then I'll make the screen a little bit smaller. All right, so we have well, there's nothing for a long ways away. So we're, you know, right here there was a point. Well, that's where we are now. So we're 5 pips against ourselves right now. Let's open this back up so we can see what we're doing here. Oh, I'm out of that one. I've lost that trade there. It's broke above the big number here. Let me just take a quick look. Yeah, I'm out of that one. There you go. There you go. 1 for the good guys, 1 for the bad guys. Gave a little bit of money back. But it did wick down to my 4, and because I was stretching out and playing and trying to see where other areas where I didn't take any, I didn't really see any profit on it. So let me, so I don't mind take. So there's my 1 loss. I got 2 more to go for today, and let's see what else we have here. We have a inside bar in the pound dollar that I missed. So we have an inside bar. It's not an inside bar I really like, so we're not going to trade that. I'm sure you probably have questions on that last trade, and I don't mind answering questions if people are wanting to ask them.
Yep, sure. Yeah, couple of questions here, if you have time.
Sure.
What's the 30 EMA for? What is that being used for? 30 EMA?
Basically, the 30 would be my the 10 and the 30 are just showing me my instant trend. The trend right at the moment. What you know, what it's doing, and I'll use the 30 sometimes as my exit, but not very often. Basically, it's just showing me direction of trend, you know, on this time frame, you know, and momentum. So if they're all pointing in a really like if they're pointing you know, if they're pointing way, you know, they're reaching right up to the sky, then I know that there's some good momentum north. And if they're pointing right down to the 5 or, you know, 4 or 5 a.m. On a clock, then you know that there's some aggressive moving going down. So, and then they're fanning out, so therefore they need to start to separate. Like you see here, the 10 and the 30 are moving away from each other, but they're still pointing in a good, nice direction. Like the 30 is pointing at 2 o'clock, and the 10 is pointing at like 1 o'clock, and they're separating. So once they start closing, that's starting to tell me that there's a little bit of consolidation happening. So
the last trade on the pound yen, that one, were you looking for it to break support there first, or was it just the inside bar that was the main signal?
Well, okay, so the main signal was I had a prior signal. Now, just so everybody knows, the pound yen I don't trade a lot because it is a beast. I don't really trade it a lot. I should actually just take it off my charts, but I like to look at it with regards to the pound dollar as well. I was looking for a break. I had, so here we had the signal. There's the 10. Then we had the signal break. We had it close below. We had it break below the 75. So this trade here, the trade was based on this inside bar here. If I had taken the trade earlier on the break of this signal, that would have been good, but I didn't like that trade because of the 75, because the 75, as you see here, this was above the 75, and there's only 1.5 pips to the 75, and you got a spread of 1.3 plus, so it would have been it could have been there would have been no money in it for me. So I kind of I like to see that it's broke below the big numbers, and it broke below the big number, came back up, closed below the big number. Therefore, my assumption was that it would continue and hopefully give me some pips to this next swing low here. So, and of course, obviously, it didn't do that. So.
Right. So the main
Did that answer that question?
Yeah. So the main thing is you had a normal signal off the 10, right? Because it closed above the 10, then closed below the 10. But then you didn't want to take that because you were right in the 75. The big number was right in the way. And then you got the inside bar, which was a second signal. So it wasn't really like that you were worried about support in terms of all those candle lows being in the way. It was really the big number that was more the focus, I suppose.
That's correct, but because I'd actually popped below those candles lows, and it had closed below those lows, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So,
yep, absolutely. Yep.
So it had closed below those lows. So, hypothetically, I do, if I wanted to, I do still believe that this trade would have been a successful trade in 3 or 4 candles from now. However, taking that trade, at 13, well, right now with 15 pips, 16 pips stop loss, when you're looking for 3, 4, 5 pips as your take profit, you can hurt yourself. And this is something that I go through all the time with a lot of the people that I've tried to help over the years, is they're going, well, your stop loss is 15, man, I took 5 good trades, 3 pips, 4 pips, and then I had 1 trade wipe it all out. Well, don't let it go that high. You can always get out and get back into another trade, and don't worry about what your efforts are not. You're learning. It's always a learning experience. I mean, the market is living, and you can only do what the market gives you. If the market doesn't want you to have that trade, you're not going to have that trade. It's plain and simple. I mean, it's an emotional It's an emotional game. Really, it is. You know, like even whether you're a long-term trader or not,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know, you can look at setups and look at ideas um, and you know, mentally you can say, well, you know, it's had a double top, double bottom, and it can go on the 4 hour, and it's broken that, and it's come down, and it's used that as resistance. So yeah, it's gonna go long for 200 pips, and it goes long 10, and the next thing you know, it goes short for 200. You know, so it doesn't matter whether you're a long-term trader, short-term trader. The market is the market. It's going to do what the masses wants it to do. So, anyways, any other questions? Pardon me, let me grab a drink here real quick.
Yeah. So David, the question from Mark here is when do you stop? Like, is it where you only trade the first hour and a half of the London Open, or, you know, how do you have like a set amount of time where you just go, I'm done, or is it like a profit target? What do you use in terms of shutting it down? I know you have the three, if you have 3 losers, you're done for the day, but what else do you use in terms of like shutting it down?
Normally I like to trade from I'm in the markets from London till for about 3 hours. Is kind of my limit. You know, I have stayed a little bit longer from time to time. You know, I've done the you know, the 12 to 15 hours in front of the in front of the screens many times. I don't find that it's helpful at all. Actually, I find that it's not really good for you. So 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. If the market's not going to give you, again, it's the same thing. If in that, as a scalper, if in that period of time the market's not going to give you what it is, then you're going to start making up trades. And when you start making up trades, then, you know, that's a recipe for disaster in and of itself. So.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm with you on that one. So,
okay.
Yep. Go ahead.
I have an inside bar here. I have an inside bar here in this squeeze. Now, that's something I never really talked about. I don't trade in the last 15 minutes of the hour unless there is always a proviso there. Unless it's an appropriate inside bar. It's the only trade I'll take in the last 15 minutes. And as you can see here, I have my last 15 minutes are marked by this yellow set of indicators, and that's I'll post in the room my whole trading plan document, like in your forum there, Walter, and or
okay, great.
in my chat area.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling you earlier, I'm you know, I've never done one of these kinds of webinars where I'm doing a question answer type like this, or I've really never kind of been involved with any major forums. So I really do appreciate your inviting me in. So here I'm going to look at this inside. The only trade I'll take is an inside bar. Now, this inside bar that I'm looking at on the New Zealand dollar is in the wiggle. What's called the wiggle is the last 15 minutes of the hour. And I will trade a breakout in direction of trend on the top of the hour candle. So here I am looking at this, and the only trade that I'll take is an inside bar that's in that wiggle. Now this inside bar is in the wiggle, and I know, but in my opinion, counter trend. Okay, so therefore, and the reason it's counter trend is because all my moving averages are not in order. Okay, I'm not trading back to the 200. The 200 has flattened. So this 200 has been coming down, down, down. It's now flattened. It's slowly turning upwards. All my other MAs haven't caught up to it yet. You can say, well, you know, but it's a good opportunity to take that right to the 25. You know, and looking at a higher time frame, yeah, it really, you know, the 25 would bring me right to the 1 hour 200. So I'm below, even though I'm above the 200 on the 5 minute, I'm below the 200 on the 15, I'm below the 200 on the daily, I'm below the 200 on the 1 hour. I'm not going to trade against the 200. It just doesn't happen. If it does, it's again a recipe for bad. You know, you might win, but it's more of a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a dangerous play, basically. It's a dangerous play.
It's a dangerous play, exactly. So so I don't normally trade in the last 15 minutes of the hour. So from the 45-minute candle to the we're on the 55-minute candle right now. We have 4 minutes left. So I'm gonna quickly go through my charts, and I'm gonna look for what I would classify a top of the hour trade. And if I see one, I'll point it out, and if I like it, hopefully I'll be able to take it. And normally when I'm doing my webinars with people, I'm fully interacting with them, and I actually enjoy that because it keeps me on my game.
I get it. Yeah, no, I totally get that. A lot of people actually mention that same thing. When you're talking out loud, it kind of forces you to make sure you're doing the right thing.
Exactly. So yeah. So, and you see, I have gold, oil, DAX, the EK, and the U.S. dollar down here. I do trade the DAX every once in a while. Gold, I don't even know why I have it on my charts. Every once in a while, guys tell me, hey, I got a gold trade. Gold is my nemesis. Gold and me just never, ever get along. So I might take one gold trade a month, and it's always a loser.
That's no fun. Yeah.
No, not at all. All right, so I'm not really seeing a whole heck of a lot on there might be an opportunity here on the euro yen short. So I'll quickly measure. I got 4 pips to the 75. If it breaks, 4 pips. If it breaks this, yeah, it's not really, you know, there is room to the downside, but I'm going to wait on it. I got a minute 36 left to go, so let's just carry on to another one and see if there's anything there. I have the same thing here with the euro dollar. The euro dollar is a little bit better of an opportunity. Let me get rid of this. So I would be looking at the euro dollar for anywhere from 2 to 6 pips. You know, it could go to the 75. It has broke out of it's bounced off the daily 200 2 days ago, and it's heading down. It's broke the it's broke resistance of back in January on a daily, so we're in a good position here to continue shorts. Now, I mean, I see long-term trades, but I don't like to take them. Because I just know that I'll be, throughout my day, every hour, every half hour, I'll be like, I wonder how that trade's doing. I wonder how that trade's doing. So I don't like to do that. So when I shut my screens off, I want to shut my screens off. I don't want to be thinking about. I want to think about whatever task I have at hand. So we're going to have another possible short on the pound yen happening, because here we had let's go back to that pound yen. London close, London open. Oh, this is an hour. This has changed. Oh, that's right. I rebooted my computer, so or not. My MT4, so this is wrong. I'll fix that later. This is set up wrong due to the time change a couple of days ago. So I do apologize, but when MT4 restarted on me about an hour or so ago, it must have went back to my old default settings of a couple of before that. So I was looking at the pound, the pound yen. We had a pullback above the 10, close below the 10. We have a signal here. Let me do this really quickly. Move all over here out of the way. I do apologize. Just want to fix this. All right, there we go. That's better. That's where it should be. So we have now. I'm going into all of this consolidation here, so it's not really a it's not really a solid trade for me, this pound yen, to take it short, and I don't have a break of my signal. I don't have a break of this signal here to go short, so and I'm not going to sit here and watch it, because there are other opportunities in there that I'm looking at an inside bar on the pound dollar to go short. But again, the moving averages are not really agreeing with it, so we don't bother taking that trade. We take it off the table is what we do. We have a possibility on the next candle of a long on the pound Sheffy here, or the dollar Sheffy. It's looking to get ready to set up. So again, I already marked these levels earlier, so I'm hoping that it actually does come down and give me that and then turn around. UJ. I've noticed the last, and here's a trade off the 200 that I was talking about here, where I have it bounce to the stop at the 200. It really is the only counter trend trade that I'll actually take. I'll only take that trade if there's room, like if there's room for it to go back up and go to the 10. Like right now, there's only 3-4 pips of room. I'm not really interested in taking the bounce off this 200. I love it when all the MAs are the right direction, and then it comes down to the 200, and then I'll take that bounce north off that. But that's not the consideration here. So. Walter, if you get questions, don't just go ahead and pop them out there every once in a while. And
okay.
If I see something, I'll just interrupt. I'll just interrupt you if I see something.
Okay, great. Okay, all right. So let us know when you take a gold trade so we can go the opposite. That's funny, Eddie.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, I love it.
Just curious, which trading platform are you using? You're using MT4, right? You just
I
have a
am.
special, yeah.
I am using MT4 only because I've invested a lot of money, a lot of time in my indicators, and that have helped me throughout the process. Like my I have an amazing programmer that works with me and has put a lot of time and effort into building my the FX plan indicator and the wiggle and also my chart switcher software. So here, actually, people wanted me to show the chart switcher software here. So just give me half a second here. Let me set this up, and then I'll pull it over and show you.
So Aristides, Aristides was saying, what about the arrow? I'm sorry I'm late. David, one thing that you might not know, and I just realized what happened, it looks like what happened with the webinar software is a lot of people were sent a reminder at the wrong time. So just like your chart was off by an hour, they were reminded an hour too late. So a lot of people are actually pouring in now because they thought that the webinar started now. So
well, that's fine. That's fine.
So we've got a lot of people in now. There were some people knew when the London Open was, and they knew that the time change was on, but I think those were the people that were in the UK. All these other people are now just pouring in, so we've got a whole bunch of questions because they weren't here earlier, basically.
Yeah, well, that's fine because that's funny because I was in one of Glenn's rooms there, and he posted that it's in an hour, and I said no, it's in 10 minutes, and I'm like, so yeah, all right, so I'll go over everything. So
you have time
again, and
okay.
I'll make time. I enjoy doing this. This is to me, this is totally totally fun. So I'm going to let me just.
Thanks for your time. Here. Thanks, David. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, absolutely. Let me just see here if I can do this. I don't know if I can show. Let me just do it this way. Let me pull this over here. I'm just pulling this over to. So I have one version. I think Eddie is using my software now. I believe. I don't know if it's the same Eddie. If he says yes, then that's good. If he doesn't, then oh well. So basically here, this let me just close this. So let me put this back in here for a second. I'll maximize it. So basically, let me change this real quickly so you can see the colors easier.
It is the same Eddie. It turns out it is the same Eddie.
Yeah, there you go. All right, good. Good. All right, so I'm just going to quickly show you, and all right, so just bear with. I do apologize. I wasn't prepared to show this this off, but as you can see here, I have all my different time frames. I do have a couple others that I'm looking at. So I have a 15-minute chart, a daily, a 1 hour, and the one that I trade from. All right, and you can see here I have down at the bottom down here I have all the pairs, and they have all my alerts on them. So basically, I only have my alerts on these pairs down here at the very bottom. All these little wee guys, and I'm just going to minimize them again. So what happens is when I get an alert, it comes up and it pops up, you know, UCAD inside bar, you know, the sell signal, what have you, right? Let me move that out of the way for a second. So if I get a, let's say for an example, I get a signal to go on the pound dollar. So I'm looking at the chart, and I can undock this chart. So right now I can't take this out of here anywhere, but I'll float this chart, take it right out of, so I can basically float it. Now it's over on, let me just grab it. So I've taken it out of here. It's now on another monitor all by itself. All right, so I'll just leave it here like this for a minute. And if I click on the Aussie dollar, what it does, let me just move it, it actually changes all of my pairs to the Aussie dollar right away. So if I click on the euro dollar, did I do that? Yeah, there we go. And the pound dollar and the USHF. So it's changing all of my pairs, and I'll have this one here on one chart and that one there on another monitor. So I have, this is a 50-inch monitor. I have another 50-inch monitor. I have two 20-inch monitors down below, and then I actually have all those little wee pairs that you see. I have a projector pointing on my wall, an 8-foot by 5-foot projector that shows me every single one of those little wee pairs. So I have a lot of real estate. You know,
you've got your own home theater going on, yeah.
I trade through a home theater, exactly.
Yeah.
So that is the software that that I've had developed that works within MT4. So we have a good trade here. We have an inside bar, short or long. Let me just open this up a little bit. We have a possibility here to go long on this inside bar. It is one of the ones I like. Now I just got to reset. Hopefully I don't lose the trade. I don't mean by lose. I mean just lose the opportunity to take the trade. If I do, there's lots of other opportunity. Anyway, so we had marked these levels down here, and so it had come down and almost hit those levels. So I'm now looking for a. So we had a break below the 10, a close right here. This is my close. We had a close above the 10. So this here tells me for the next 3 candles that I can take this, I can take this trade. Now that's also an inside bar, so it's a pretty solid trade. Now I'm looking at the 30 is pointing at 2 o'clock. The 50 is pointing at 2:30, 3 o'clock. My 200 is pointing up too. It's also pointing up, you know, around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and they've all got upward slopes. So I like this trade. The only downside to this trade is that I'm sitting on the 200. I'm sitting right on the 200 on the daily. It's actually below it. So, and it's kind of hit that mark. But again, I'm not in it for long term. I'm only in it for a few pips. So, you know, swing high. There's a double top here, so I could be looking at 3 to 9 pips here. I'll probably I'll close that. All right, so there it. Ooh, I didn't like that. Just change time frames for a second here. Go back. I'm going to lose that. That's there we go. All right, so let's take that trade. There it goes. Take profit right up there. We'll put our stop loss down. All right, so we're in that trade now. So for those that are just getting here late, basically what I'm looking for, or not late, but getting here now, I'll re-go over my setups really quickly. I'm a trend trader, and MA trader, looking for direction of trend. I use the 10, the 30, the 50, which is more recent, and the 200. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I had to take a quick drink. So I look for a close below the 10, a close above the 10 to take my trades long. Now, and I look for inside bars, and this is a primary inside bar that I look for, where it's in the top portion of the inside bar if I'm going long. I'd like it to be in the top 30% of the candle if I'm going long. I got a bug in my throat. Excuse me a second. All right. I do apologize for that. I prefer to take shorts most of the time, but I will take longs on as well. Now I should have actually got out of that trade because it did hit that double top that I was talking about and turn around. So I'm going to sit in this one for a few seconds and see what it does. Let's move on to another pair at the moment and see if we can find something else to muddle into. So we have an opportunity. No, it didn't break below the 10 here, so we'll be only looking for inside bars on this one unless it breaks and closes below the 10 and then closes above the 10 for a long. It's on the Aussie dollar. Euro yen, I have no trade. I had an inside bar on the euro dollar, but there's a lot of body in that trade, so therefore it's not really conducive of a trade that I'm really that interested in. So I'm really fussy on my inside bars. The more and more research that I do on them. So we have a 200 bounce opportunity here. Not really too keen on the GJ at the moment. I already lost one on it, so today. Walter, you can go ahead with some questions if you want. I'm totally absolutely keen on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. I thought the webinar started. Okay, yeah, the webinar software sent you guys the wrong time, guys. Sorry about that. The software didn't know that they had changed time in the UK. So a lot of questions about that. Everyone's coming in late. What is the arrow setup? So the arrow setup is the pullback to the 10. Maybe you can just briefly discuss that.
Sure. Actually, I'm on the Aussie dollar here. Let me go back to the Aussie dollar. Oh, no, here, I'll stay here where I was. I'm on the Aussie dollar. All right. So what I'm looking for is this setup right here is primarily a good setup for me. I'm looking for a trade, a close above the 10 moving average. That's what this red line is, a 10 moving average. I want to close above it, and then I want to close below it, and that gives me my signal candle. Basically, and it draws a line saying, okay, and that's just that line doesn't need to be there. I just have it there. It just helps for when I'm looking down history, looking at the history, going backwards, saying, okay, did that break on the first candle? Was it good? Was it good on the second candle? Was it good on the third? So it's just, it was there just basically for my um, studying and back testing. But I kind of really liked it, so I just left it on there. So here we have right here. Now this one here, the bid and the ask, I don't know if it did or didn't, but if the bid and the ask had closed below the, no, it wouldn't have. It would have only been the bid, not the ask. So this would have been a no trade. So here we had a bid and an ask that closed below the 10 and down to the big number. There's lots of room to go down to the big number, which was the zeros, and it did. It went down to the zeros. So that would have been the trade on the signal candle that I would have taken right here. Would have taken it on the break of the very next candle, and away I would have went. All right, I have to go look at that U-chef for a second because it's actually going against me. Only 2 pips, but I have a very, very tight stop loss on that. I only have 4 pips stop loss on that one. We'll leave it there. I'm probably going to get stopped out. That sometimes is the downside to also talking and trading, Walter, is that every once in a while I'll be explaining something and I'll have seen that I had my opportunity there. So here was the 200 bounce off that I was just talking about. It came up to the 200, it bounced off and gave me, that would have been a beautiful trade for, 4 to 5 pips. I do love trading the bounce, but anyways, so that's for another webinar.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, is there any other questions?
More questions. We got tons of questions here, actually. Okay.
All right. We'll carry on.
Okay. The moving averages. So you have the 10, the 30, the 50, and the 200 moving averages, right? Is that right?
Correct.
Is that right? Yep.
Correct.
Exponential. Was there an explanation? Was there an introduction to David and who he is? David's a trader. He lives in Canada. He trades the London Open, and he trades it. He's showing you exactly how he trades it. He's been doing this quite well. Like me, it took me 4 years of spinning my wheels too. I noticed that we had that in common, David. But you basically have shown us your 2 bread and butter setups, and then there's the 200 too. So there's basically 3 setups, I suppose.
Yeah, I have 3 or 4 setups that I trade, but my bread and butter are my inside bars and my signal breaks.
Right. Which is the arrow, and that was Aristides' question was, what's the arrow? The arrow is basically the market closed above the 10 moving average, and then it closed back below it, and you know that you're already kind of got a trend direction. So it's basically pullback is over, and it's time to look at getting into a trade below the low of that candle that actually closed below the moving average. Am I right? Am I right in stating
100%. So here it is. Here we have again. I'll draw the line here so we can see it. Okay, so we had a pullback above, close above the 10, right here.
Right.
So then we had this candle here broke below the 10, closed below the 10. And then there would have been my, that one there would have been my signal to go short. So there's my signal right there saying that I'm to go short.
Yeah, you took that trade,
an Aussie.
Right? You took that trade, didn't you?
I took that.
Yeah,
took
that's
that
the
trade.
Aussie, euro.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I did get stopped out on that UJ. UChef, I apologize. I did get stopped out on it. I'm out of the trade. Gee, this webinar could be over soon.
Right. So just to recap, those of you that are watching the recording know, but those of you that are not watching the recording are here live and may have come in late. We David took that euro trade, which hit profit, made profit. Then there was a pound yen that didn't do well and pulled the plug on that one. And then there was the Swissy, which you just saw right now.
Yeah, and I just took the Aussie dollar as well, and I'm about to get out of the Aussie dollar with profits. So
that's a sweet looking setup right up there. Yeah. Wow.
Right. So yeah. So and it's kind of waffling right now. So I'm out. There you go. Beautiful. So basically, let me pull that trade over onto the chart just so you see it. There it is there. So there's my stop loss. There's my take profit right up there. Here was my entry right here. Boom. I got out with only 2.5 on this one here because there's tops here, all these tops here. And you can see on this candle here that was probably, as a micro trader that it was a good idea. I don't mean my micro, I don't mean my lot size. I mean by macro trader or whatever you want to call it. I just get in and get out. Just get in and get out. A high frequency. That's what I'm looking at. The word I'm looking at. Sorry. So that is the setup right there. There's the trade. Let me pull that UChef over here and show you the loss trade as well. Let me just drop it in here. There it is there. So my take profit was set up here. I did talk about it waffling in and around this number here, and then I moved away from it when I could have had, my 2 to 3 that but I didn't take it. So I honor my stops. My stop on this one was in this consolidation. I drew these lines earlier in the earlier part of this webinar saying that I expected this to pull back to here. Sometimes I need my own lessons because I took that trade and it hadn't come back down to that level yet. All right, so I do expect now that it will consolidate around this area on the UChef, and then either if it breaks it, it's going to continue short. If it sticks in that area, then it could probably end up going back in direction of trend, which the trend is. Well, it's mixed. It's a mixed bag actually. It's short the 1 minute, the daily, the weekly, but it's long the 1 hour, 4 hour, and monthly. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. What else here? We had the pound yen, which was I pulled the plug on the pound yen. Let me drop it on here. Where is it? It's right here. Oh, that was the yeah. The entry was right here. Take profit was down here again. The only reason it didn't take the profit was because I wasn't really paying attention to the market. The market decided it wanted it right away on this one here. It went against me right away, actually, if I remember correctly. And so I pulled the plug. I traded against the big numbers here. It closed below the big number, so I figured it was going to continue. It was below all of this consolidation here. It had broke below it. I set a take profit down at this big number down here, and obviously, if I'd have been sitting in this trade now from here, I'd be 30, 50 pips, 34 pips against me. That's just an absolute big no-no. I hate giving money back to the market if I don't actually, I don't have to. That's why I have my 3 trade rule as well, because I just feel that if the market, if I'm giving back to the market and I've done 3 bad trades, whether they're 3 in a row or 3 at over the whole interval of my 2 to 3 hours of trading, then I'm not psychologically ready to go further than losing 3 trades. Sorry. Other questions?
Yep, we've got a ton. We've got an absolute ton here. So, do you only look at the 15-minute? I think you mainly trade off the 5-minute. You're just using the other charts as for context, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have a signal on the euro yen to go short. I'm going to take this trade if it breaks here. It's a beautiful setup. I've had a pullback here. I'm looking for the bid and the ask to both break. So there it is. I'm in the trade. Let's pull that down and we'll put that one up here at the. So theoretically, I'm looking for 9-10 pips here, but I'll get out with 4. I'll get out here at this the bottom of this consolidation here. Let's hope that this trade goes in our favor. Let's hope. It's never a hope. It's Anyway, so in this trade here, what I'm looking for is, my trend is down. All my moving averages are pointing downwards. The 10 has come to a flat, but was starting to point down a little bit. I could be looking for it to pull back up to the about 10-11 pips up into anywhere between 8 and 11 pips up into this area here before it gives me what I'm looking for. And oh, no, I don't want to adjust that. Put that back. So that's kind of the zone there where I'll really take a look at it to see whether or not I'm actually going to let it go to my stop loss or I'm going to get out of the trade. And I'll be looking at down in and around here. Well, here to where I got my take profit down to the 75. In this area is kind of where I'll be looking at taking profit on this trade. And because it's my so we'll manage that trade here in a minute. We'll just move on and see if there's other trades. You can go ahead with questions. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so a couple questions about reward to risk ratio.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about reward to risk. Reward to risk ratio is, again, earlier in the webinar, and you guys will get this reviewed when you rewatch it if you do. I have an automatic stop loss of 15 on my VPS, and I have an automatic take profit of 40 just in case there's big spikes in one direction or the other. And my trailing stop on the big spikes is set at, I believe it's set at 8 today, or it's set at 10. I didn't go over to the VPS and check, but if I remember correctly, it was set at it's set at 8. And it's adjustable. I can adjust it the way I want it. But the reward to risk is I really never let my trades go the 15. I'll look at the 7. That's why I drew those zones on there, those areas on that euro yen, is because I really, am I going to let it go 15 and then fight against myself, or do I allow it to go, or do I cut it off short and and not have it go that far against me? So I mean, am I looking for I'm not, you know, 1-to-1. No, not really. I don't really look at the risk to ratio as readily as that. So I don't know if that really answers that question or not. I don't let it go that far. I don't want to have to take 3 trades to one loser. So I try to make sure that I manage them appropriately. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, right. So the deal is losing trades are going to be cut hopefully long before they hit the stop. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I'm hoping that I'm hoping that more of my winners will, which is normally the case, more of my winners really do outweigh my losers. So.
Yep. And what kind of win rate do you typically see? Do you have like an 85, 90% win rate, or how do you know what your numbers are?
I do, and yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that question.
Yeah, no, I understand. So totally understand.
I'll just say that it's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
I've had we're almost finished the 3rd month of trading, and I've had 2 losing days, 1 draw day all month. Since January. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And do you find that after about 3 months, and the reason I ask is because one of our other traders in the forum who, hires traders and stuff like that for his fund, he's found that after about 3 months, performance starts to tail off, so he sends people on holiday. Do you find that after a set amount of time, you just need a break?
Yeah. I am very aggressive the first week, first 10 days of the first week to week and a half of the month. And then I trade very little the rest of the month. I help a lot of people. I am online all the time. I'll take 1 or 2 trades while I'm helping people. Like normally I'm not trading right now. I'm looking at the market, I'm helping people. I'm not going for my 50 to 100 pips in the course of a day. I do have a goal for the month. I do look for anywhere. I like to get I like to get roughly 100 pips a day for 10 days or so, and then I'm kind of done. I do have a dollar amount that I look for. Again, I'm not really going to get into that, but I've been known to make 200-300 pips in a day. If the market, it's up to the market. The market tells me what I'm going to do. I don't tell the market what it's going to do.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. So, my guess is that if there's a really strong trending day, that's the day where you're just picking off trades left, right, center. Like that's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have another opportunity coming here on the. We have a continuation trade here on the Aussie dollar, but I'm not going to take it. It's coming back up to that tops up there. All right, here we are. We didn't get stopped out on this, and hopefully it's going to now do what it's supposed to do and go in. There we go. Come on now. Do what I talk to the market all the time. When you don't have a webinar or people to talk to, I talk to I have a little group that I have a couple of guys in one room and another couple of rooms, and I try to communicate with people all the time because again, it's so important. The market is such a lonely place when you're by yourself. It's nice to talk the trades through, and talk to people, and you know, and just communicate with them. So I prefer that as a trader. So here we have, we're going to get a setup here. We got 42 seconds left on this candle. We got a setup to go short on the euro dollar going to happen here. Let's see if it happens. I'll come back to it in a couple seconds here. All right, let's go back to it. All right, so we got, well, now we are going to get a setup or not. Yep, there we go. All right, so we have a signal that happened. So basically we've had a pullback above the 10. We've had a close below the 10. Now we're looking for a break of this, the low of this candle to go short. If it does go short, our take profit is going to be 3 to 4 pips, going to be the bottom of this consolidation here. You know, it could be this this previous swing low, or this the previous one to that. So you could go up to 9 pips or so. I'm not looking for any more than that, even though I know there's some clear sailing going to be happening ahead. But you know, I've got resistance at the big number. I do believe that the big number will, you know, if you put the zeros, 25s, 75s, and 50s on your charts, you'll see that you get lots of consolidation and pullbacks to those levels. You know, like, you know, if you measure here 25, so I draw a line here. There's the 25 there, so it came up, hit the 25. Yeah. It came down off of it. Come down to the big number here, the zeros. Sat at the zeros, come down, back up to the test of the zeros, come down. Will it go down to the 75? Could come back up to the, could come back up to a big number first, and then come down. All right. All right. On with other questions.
Yep. So you'll wait 3 candles, right? If you don't get triggered on the setup, that's it.
Yeah. After 3 candles, I'm out of that trade, most definitely.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't trigger in 3 candles, if the trade doesn't trigger.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Will it be recorded? Yes, we will record it and we'll post it for you guys. Is there any pair or just the pound pairs? Which pairs do you trade? There's a lot of questions about that.
Well, as you can see here in the bottom of my chart, these are the pairs. I used to trade 18 pairs. Again, I've cut way back on the pairs that I trade. So I'm Aussie dollar, euro yen, euro dollar, pound yen, pound dollar, USHF, US yen, and New Zealand dollar. I will trade, I've been looking at oil lately a little bit. I will trade, I do trade the DAX, and I reference the dollar index and the Nikkei index, and unfortunately I even have gold on here, you know. And Eddie, I will tell you when I take a gold trade, so you can go the other direction.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so
Yeah. Here's that bounce off the 200 again.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this, right up to the 200, bounce off as soon as it hits the 200, you know, and it started to tail down. You know, you could have been in that. We talked about that. This is the second time on the pound yen. Talk about the bounce off that 200. Again, that's for another whole other webinar, and I'd be more than happy to do other ones if I'm so invited to do so.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I think they'd love to have you back. There's a ton of questions here. The EMAs are the 200 EMA, the 50 EMA, the 30 EMA, and the 10 EMA, right? David's asking.
Yeah. The 50, I've just recently added the 50. It's just showing me short-term, my short-term trend. You know, the 10 and the 30 are have been my meat and potatoes for 5 years. Okay, the 10, 30, and the 200. They've been they're my bread and butter. You know, plain and simple.
Gotcha. Yep. Do you have a pending order in there, or do you pull the trigger at at market or whatever?
I'm a market trader. I've tried the pending order thing, and you know, again, as a scalper, scalping is not easy. Scalping is really not easy. There's you know, I've taught a lot of people how to scalp, and it's not easy. I mean, there's a lot of screen time. There's a lot of energy that you have to understand. You know, the market. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? How are you going to get there? So here, you know, so I'm gonna pull out of this trade. I got 5 on it now here. Let me just have 4 on it. I'm out of it. That was the euro yen that I put in here. Again, you know, I'm happy. I took 3.5 on that trade. I'm real happy. I'm out of it. It took way too long. I was in that trade for almost 20 minutes. To me, that's longer than I want. So let me pull that trade over just so you guys can see it as well. See the entry on it and everything else. So there was the entry. Yeah, I was in that trade for 20 minutes. It pulled against me 6 pips. You know, if I stayed into it, I'd have had my 6. But I drew a line where I assumed that it was, you know, where I would be happy to get out, and it come almost down to that. It came down to that line, and then pulled back a little bit. So I'm happy. I'm out of the trade. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can converse and talk to people and do what I want. Now watch this. It's going to bounce off the 75. Now if it breaks the 75, closes, and then comes back and retests the 75, it's going to continue going short for a little while. It might continue right back. It might continue down to the 25. Everything happens in sequences. So, and I'm happy, you know. But I'm happy that I'm out of the trade. You know, I don't say, oh well, what if? Man, if I had stayed in that trade right now, I'd be up another 10 pips. I don't think like that. I'm just, at the end of the day, I know that, you know, I just put that money in my account, and I know come Friday that money's going to go to my bank account. So I'm happy that that I can wash my hands of those kinds of trades, you know, so to say. I mean, that sounds kind of negative, but it's not. I never look back. Never look back. I mean, I look back to look at the market to see what the market's doing, but I never look back and wonder, why didn't I? How come I didn't? You know, I should have. Those are all market killers. You know, as a scalper, you know, they'll do you in, you know, and that's the biggest problem that I've come across with a lot of people, that they say, well, you know, it was a beautiful entry, but I should have got out. No, well, then scalping is not for you. If you can't be happy with 5, 10, you know, 15 pips and not worry about leaving the, you know, 20, 30 on the table, that you might have had to go 20 or 30 against you to get that 20 or 30, or to go 100 against you to get that 100. If you can't be happy that it's not on the table, then you know you shouldn't be a scalper. You should go back to long-term trading, or not even trade. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
I went a little rant there.
Yeah,
a little rant.
I get it. David's basically talking about psychology here, guys, and I appreciate it. So Scott's asking if you've tested this system on higher time frames, like the 15, the 30, the 1 hour.
It's amazing on the 15-minute. It's amazing on the 1 hour. But again, you can't establish. So let me just pull this up to a 1 hour chart here. So you know, we had 15 pips there. We had 8 pips there. Again, it depends on what you're looking for. You know, we had no trade here. We had we didn't have very many here, but you know, you're going to be looking at, if you're looking for bigger, if you're looking for 30, 40 pips, you're looking to stay in the market longer. If I'm trading if I like higher time frames, I like to trade the crosses of the actual EMAs when I'm looking at a higher time frames.
Explain that. What do you mean by that? The crosses?
Well, I'll look for a cross of the 10 and the 10 and the 30 is an example. So here's a cross of the 10 and the 30. You know, to go north. Here's a cross of the 10 and the 30 to go south right here. So the 10 crossed the 30. You know, it really depends on what you're looking for. You know, if you're looking for 30, 40, 50 pips, it's probably on a higher time frame, like 1 hour to 4 hour. It's probably a 65% win rate. If you're looking at a 5 minute, it's 85 to 90% win rate. But you got to be willing to take your 3, take your 4, take your 5, and get out. You've got to be willing to take your, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 loss and get out. Just get out. You know. I don't know if I'm making, if that's good, makes sense to Scott's question, or?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So essentially, guys, what if I'm to kind of put it in different words, it seems like to me you're looking for these setups where you think it has potential to go pretty far, but you don't care how far it goes because you just want to get in for a quick ride. And so you've got this time stop too kind of ticking in your head, which is, you know, like that Euro yen trade. You're like, oh, hang on, this is taking 20 minutes and I should have been out, you know, in 7 to 8 minutes or something like that. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. Because actually when we took that trade, I had 3.5 within 30 seconds, and because we were discussing something, I didn't take it. So I could have been in and out of that trade in under a minute. And those, I think, are the sweetest trades that I can have. Now, I mean, it's just because it takes it all. It's just because it's there. It's done. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to wonder and ponder on it at all. So, but I don't really, I don't really like to be in the market on any given trade more than, you know, half an hour. Half an hour is, to me, is long enough, because if the trade's not going to go the way I want it to go, or the way I think it's going to go, not the way I want it to go, sorry, I should take that back, the way I think it's going to go, in that, because I'm a scalper, if it's not going to go the way I think it's going to go in that short time frame, then it's probably not going to go the way that I think it's going to go. Does that make sense?
Basically allowing yourself to be wrong and saying, okay, well, it didn't work out, so I'm out. 6 candles and I'm out.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Pretty much. All right, so let's take a couple more questions, and then I'm probably going to want to, if you're all right with it, I'll probably just book out here in 5 or 10 minutes.
Yep, that's perfect.
Unless I see something else.
No, that's fine. We've
It's been a pretty long webinar so far, so.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how long it's been, but I don't even know. Let's see. It's been like 2 hours, right, or something like that.
Well, it'll be 2 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours.
Okay,
and
so
I'll be more than happy to do another one. I see there's a few scheduled ones on the.
Well, I just did that because I hate it when everyone has to re-enter in their email and their name. So in case we're going to do future ones, I scheduled more, and then what we'll do, guys, is if David can make time for another one, we will change that date in the webinar software, and then you guys will get, you'll get the invitation and all that. You'll already be registered. So everyone here is already registered for the future ones. I'll just liaise with David and make sure that we get a time that works for him. If you want to do that, David, it sounds like you do.
Well, yeah. I'm always happy to do these. I'm always happy. I mean, I do them every day if I can.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, what leverage do you use? Leverage doesn't really matter. I think he just uses a standard lot size, Alex. Yeah.
Leverage really. Let's touch on leverage for a second there. Yeah. Leverage really depends on what you want as your risk and your reward. I know in the States there's a maximum of 50 to 1 on leverage, which makes but you're right. Leverage really leverage should not take a precedence in this. Whether it's 1 to 1, whether it's 400 to 1. It has nothing to do with the signals, the quality, or the system, the setups themselves. That's primarily and purely an individual's risk factor, whether or profit factor that they want to put into it. Plain and simple.
Exactly, and it's crazy. Like, people talk about leverage. It's really about the risk that you have for your account. The only thing leverage allows you to do is take more trades at the same time or whatever. But leverage is like fire. You can burn your food with it, you can burn your house down with it, or you can make a nice little a nice little dessert. You can do whatever you want. So it doesn't really, I know people talk about that, but it's not. The only thing it's going to help you do really is take more trades or take bigger trades. It doesn't. It's really about it's really about what you're risking for each individual trade. So David's gone over that quite a bit. As he mentioned, he has these emergency stops that'll be in, at 15 pips, 10 pips, 8 pips, something like that. But he looks to get out of those losers long before that happens. He trades about 3 hours. I'm just trying to hit some of these questions that keep coming up over and over again. Good timing, yeah. So he's trying to get in and out. Everything he has here on his charts, guys, is to help him make quick decisions. His broker is Pepperstone, so he's got really tight spreads, and that's by design, right? You need to have
exactly.
Yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, again, because you're looking for 3 to 5, if as a norm, you're looking for 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 10 as an absolute out. And if you're like, I'm looking at the pound yen right now, and my spread is 2, just hit 2, 1.7 to 2. So basically, okay, so I've got two that I have to give back to the market. So now I'm looking for 5. So that means I got to come up with 7. The tighter the spread, the better it is. So basically, the pound yen is probably the biggest spread one that I have, and I don't trade it very often. Unless I see something in a higher time frame that really tells me that it's going to be a worthwhile endeavor, that it's going to go 10 or 15 pips. And again, I'll still get out with 6 or 7, but my target, if you will, my target in theory is 5. If whether I get out with 3 because I see that the market is waffling, or look at that beautiful 200 off that guy. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, I'd have made my money right there. Look at,
Yeah.
Anyways, we're just discussing. So yeah, the tighter the spread, the better the better the more profit you can look for. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just makes it easier. You also have to have a true ECN. You can't have any funny business, because once you start making money, your broker's going to make it, slip you and stuff like that, make it difficult on these sorts of trades. So you really need to make sure you pick the right broker, guys. That's critical.
Well, that is absolutely critical. Now, I have tried other brokers. I'm really not going to go into a discussion on different brokers.
Don't. Yeah, don't.
I'll be more. I'll be more than happy if anybody asks me, which is the one I use. I've been using Pepperstone for 7 years, and honestly, they've never ever let me down with a paycheck. For the first 4 to 5 years, did they take my money? You're darn right they did. They didn't mind that paycheck either. But
yeah.
But that's all part of the cost of
tuition.
Doing business.
Yeah, that's tuition. Yeah, exactly.
Tuition. It's like, right. You're a doctor. I'm sure you had to spend a lot of money to get your doctorate, and get your patients, or get your studies, or whatever it is you've got to do. So I mean, it all to me, I was willing to put out there that $50,000 in losses that I incurred over that period. And it was up and it was down, and it was up and it was down. So it was a totally my tuition to get into learning how to trade and learning my style that I want to do, how I want to trade. Do I want to be a long-term trader, or do I want to just make my $300 to $500 a day and be happy and get out of the market? That's kind of the animal that I am. Everybody's different, though. That's what makes the market. I mean, scalpers work off of long-term traders. Long-term traders work off of scalpers. We all work hand in hand. Without one, the other does not exist. So,
absolutely,
it just doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You need to have the short-term traders to make the market, to lubricate the market, basically. Absolutely. Yep. So here we go. I think sorry guys if we missed your question. You're gonna. There's a lot of questions that have come in through. Most of them are dupes, or essentially the same thing. We will invite David back, guys, and you'll have that in your inbox, and hopefully the GoToWebinar software will have figured out that they've moved their clocks in London so that one's not messed up. And then also I will send an email out too so you guys know before the next one too. So I'll send you an hour's notice before too, okay? So everyone's clear on that.
Do you not have to change your software when you're changing the webinar software? Is it not you that has to change the time zone in the?
Well, no, because
I know
I set the webinar time to GMT time. So I set it to, you know what I mean? I set it to London time, and then that was that was after we talked about it, and then they switched. I think this weekend, right? Was it this weekend that they switched? Yeah. So so I don't know exactly. Maybe it's because now London is no longer on GMT. They're on GMT +1 or something like that. Maybe that's what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I said it on the wrong, like you're saying. Maybe that was my fault. But next time, everyone will definitely have the right time. You'll get the reminder. All of you watching the recording, we'll put the link for you to register. If you haven't registered, that link will be below this recording video. So click on that link if you want to get in on the next one. And I really appreciate it, David. Thanks so much for sharing your time. I know it's one of those things where when you're doing something for a long time, sometimes it's hard to kind of explain what you're doing. So it helps to have these questions to get your thinking up to the forefront, so that I know exactly what you're saying. A lot of traders have actually mentioned that to me when they do these things. They say, well, it kind of helps them when they talk it out. So I really appreciate what you're doing for people here. A lot of thank yous coming through, David. A lot of people saying thank you, brilliant, thank you so much. Thank you very much, David. Thank you, thank you. Lots of thank yous coming through, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any time, Walter. I really do appreciate you giving me this opportunity, and thank. I'd be more than happy to post what I need to post in your
in the forum,
in the forum, and I want to thank Adam for putting us in contact. He's learning, and he's a good student. So
he's pretty keen on your system. Yeah, he's talking a lot. He's been talking a lot about you for the last year, really, and or at least going back to I don't know what August last year or July last year. He was telling me about your system, and so look, guys, this is out there. I'll put it out there for everyone. You can watch the video, and you can click on the link if you want to get on the next one. That's below this video. Okay. Thanks so much, David. What do you do?
Right,
do you have a nap now? Are you up for the morning, or do you have a nap now? What do you do? Like it's morning time, right?
No, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna get my breakfast going, and get on to my daily activities. That's it.
Cool. Well, thanks for spending time with us, and thanks to all of you spending time here as well. I hope that you've got something out of this, and we'll hope to see you next time. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye now.
David. Bye. Bye. Take care, guys. Bye.